Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christy with Van Ahn Company. It is Tuesday, November 10th. I'm going to go over the markets with you. It was a very ugly day in the markets. You had a crop report out at 11 o'clock and pretty much wanted to slaughter a majority of the grain markets. You came in here and pushed corn into new recent lows. You haven't seen these lows for about a year. So you came in here, your past low was 360 and a half, and you came and broke that down 356. And so it was able to bounce off its lows just slightly and finish just above 360, but you did make those new lows, and tomorrow will be interesting. Beans actually went lower also, closed down about 10 3/4, and then the wheat market was lower. One thing to note is that majority of these markets were lower to begin with before the crop report came out. And so corn wasn't quite as low. Beans were actually, or wheat was actually a little bit lower coming into the crop report. And then beans came off a little bit too. And so you really came into this report with a little bit of negativity, to be honest. And what you've had is the last about month and a half, you've had ideal conditions, you've had good yield reports, you've had poor demand because of the US dollar, and it's kind of really been all jumbling up. And I really think that majority of the market people didn't think you were going to see these drastic of changes until January's crop report. You really expected USDA to push it off just a little bit longer, and they didn't want to, so you came in here, you jacked up yield in both corn and beans. Beans are actually up 1.1 bushel higher per acre. So you came in there, increased carryout levels, 1.76 for corn and 465, I believe, for beans. And so you have higher carryouts. Wheat came in at 911. World carryout, that's probably your most bearish factor you saw was coming into the world carryout in corn. They added 24 million metric tons of corn. And so they all changed that on the usage side of things. And you saw that usage change even domestically. They cut ethanol, they cut exports, they cut feed use, and all of that. You're saying, okay, you know, I don't know if you really believe that ethanol cut. Exports, yes, they are behind pace, but it's early in the season. So you can make arguments for all of this, but needless to say, they did carry it. The carryouts levels grew a lot, especially in the world number in corn. Like I said, corn was able to bounce off of it, so it's a little bit surprising there. But overall, just a bearish report. We're not going to have a whole lot of news coming in until January's crop report, to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see if you come in here and have tech guys come in here. You are at the bottom of the range. They have been buyers here, and see if they come in here and do that. You didn't have as much bearish news when they did that. Meat markets, same situation there. They actually were down expanded limits in both live cattle, feeder cattle. So they lifted off of that into the afternoon, but you still had them down, not limit of expanded limit, but below their normal limit. So live cattle down about 360, 362, and then feeders down 460, I believe, maybe 675 at one point, and hogs were able to stay on their own to some degree, down $1.42 and a half. Outside markets a little bit negative towards commodities, but the dollar is really creeping up there, and that's another reason why you're going to have a little bit of pressure across these boards for both wheat, corn, beans, and the meat market. The dollar is almost at 100. It hasn't been there for a while, and so you're coming in here, and then when that dollar is a lot higher, it just makes our commodities much more expensive for foreign nations, so our export hurts, and that's where you saw the cut in export in corn. Wheat's very much a world-driven market, so you're seeing that happen there too. So overall, not a lot of friendly news out there, mostly bearish. We'll see how this market reports to it tomorrow, and see if, you know, they're going to put it past us, and see tech guys come in here and they're going to push these markets just a little bit lower. I do have to close with a disclaimer: trading in futures and options involves risk, loss, and may not be suitable for all producers. Have a great day.